because the Ottomans, when they got hold of him, sodomized him. So when he became the leader, he thought, I'll show you all a lesson. And he impaled everybody. That was his thing.
Yeah.
So that exactly what you just said. These people are morally corrupted. And if you sit there and think that these leaders have any interest at all in you, it's kind of interesting to me. People always say, the politicians are so stupid. And once again, that's a very optimistic view. They're not stupid. They know what they're doing. And you are confused and you think they're stupid because you think they work for you. You think, I hired the politician. The politician's my representative, and he's going to go there to represent my interests. And when he doesn't represent your interests, you think he's dumb. No, he works for someone else. He uses this whole "you can vote for me" democracy garbage to allow you to accept him sitting up there and doing the opposite of absolutely everything you've ever asked for. There's not a single politician doing anything any of their people have ever asked for, nearly ever in the West. They work for someone else. They work for shadow lobbies and hidden interests and big money and banks, and they work for a completely different team. They're doing the exact right votes. They're voting exactly how they're supposed to. They know they're doing their job fantastically. Your confusion is you believe they give a about you, and they never have, and they don't. And we could talk about all of this, like I said, philosophically, but it's very interesting because the world is cyclical and everything goes round in circles. You have a king who's in charge of his empire, and after a while, the king's son he's still a good king, but he's not as good. And then the next king's son has just been too spoiled and everything becomes decadent and you don't want them to be king anymore. And there's a revolution and you fight for democracy, and then democracy comes and there's a fantastic democracy at the beginning and everybody cares. And 3 or 4 generations later, everyone's just robbing and stealing as much as they can and nobody cares about the population anymore. And now you have people inside of America who would very happily put Trump as king for the rest of his life and put his son in charge. And then you go back to royalty. It's like the world is cyclical and nothing lasts forever. And when I talk to Americans, especially, they don't have this concept that America can fall. They're like, but what will happen to America? I'm like, it's going to fall. I'm like, what do you mean it's going to fall? Nothing lasts forever. If you lived in Rome and you had these beautiful Colosseums and these marble arches and you're wearing your robe and you had all your slaves and you're eating grapes, you can't ever imagine it on fire. One day you woke up and you looked out at Rome and you were like, no way. This is the world. This is the civilized world. This is Rome. There's nowhere else. Still burnt down. That's what happens with decadence over time. And everyone talks about the fall of Rome and we compare it to the fall of the West.